brought to you by SMART, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Asana Caetano. Good morning.
Good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us on this September 16th.
Yes.
Another Monday here with us at Open Your Eyes. Thank you so much for joining us today. Asana, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Braving the heat, but I'm good.
Braving the heat indeed. And you know what?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing up that topic because I think that's our first starter to our What's Buzzing.
All right. So I'm talking about what feels to be a heat wave that we're experiencing for the past several days, including this morning when I woke up.
Yeah.
It was still pretty much warm. I think the heat may have kind of dampened in a sense of irony whatever activities were
Was
held
taking
over the
place this
weekend and the attendance for those activities, because I'm thinking a lot of people like myself stayed indoors to try to stay out of the sun.
You know, I hear you, and I think a lot of people had that same reaction to the heat this weekend. But I feel like it's just been generally hot. We haven't had like a lull, like from since we had like little cold front a few months ago. We haven't had that lull, but people still went out to like Carnival and so forth. People still went out to Expo, but I guess you're right, the numbers have been decreasing. I think it was almost over 100 degrees on Saturday and the same for Sunday. And people are trying to find ways to stay cool.
Yeah, or stay cool. So I did not attend the Expo on either of the 2 days, but in the context of the heat, other persons that I spoke with, some who are there to, cash in on the deals, others who are there as part of the business community who are doing business at their stalls, spoke to a couple of people and they were telling me it's unbearable.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah, and I would imagine as well, they had, I think, over 140 odd vendors this year, which was a little lower than last year as well. But they did have a good amount of crowd. What I was surprised about was if the numbers were low for Expo, I would have imagined that the numbers would have been kind of low for Panyard, because up until 9 o'clock the night it was still relatively hot, but people were out. That crowd was there in that courtyard, a much larger audience than last year's Panyard, and it was held in the same vicinity. But if you kind of had like a bird's eye view of last year and this year, it's a substantial significance as to in terms of the numbers this year versus last year. It was a lot of people, and they were kind of just like gathered, kind of bulged together in the courtyard at the government house. And so I was surprised that people came out due to the excessive heat.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in terms of things that are happening in and around the country, there you go with the footage for the Panyard.
It was good, I don't know if you were watching it. I know Channel 5 was definitely airing it live, the entire time. It was a really good show. A lot of bands did come out from across the country, not just Belize City. There was a band from Peacocker, Pandisi, several other bands from Cayo and around the Belize district. So it was quite big. People definitely came out, and it kind of shows the level of growth that people are supporting this type of music and this genre of music.
I mean, when you talk about cultural experiences, it does not necessarily have to be from an ethnic perspective.
Indeed.
It can very well be things that people or activities that people gravitate to that over time takes hold within a society
Yeah.
or among a group of people per se. And so I say that in the context of the Panyard because that has created its own movement in terms of people who year on year make sure that they attend this event. They're lovers of steel pan
Yes.
music
Yes.
and that entire genre that comes along with it.
I attended Panyard with a couple of my friends from Trinidad, and they like this. Of course, they like this
Yeah.
sort of experience, and they had their own, I guess, observations comparing it to how pan is expressed in Trinidad versus how pan is expressed in Belize.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to explain that it's still relatively young, even though I believe one of the members of one of the bands have been doing this for almost 30 years, right? But that is still relatively young for Belize, experiencing pan and you know, facilitating these bands in Panyard. So as a nation, we are still adapting this as a genre of music. And what I really appreciate about Panyard in Belize is that, yes, it's steel pan, but some of the bands were playing Belizean music. We had some of Lord Rayburn's songs being played on the pan, and it was on some of Andy Palacios' songs being played on the pan. So that's what I really appreciated about this year. But that crowd is Sani. It's called Bring Your Own Chair. Kind of, it's a Bring Your Own Chair kind of ordeal. But people were there, standing, sitting, and just enjoying this amount of musical expression. So it was incredible.
Excellent.
Yes.
You know what else is buzzing?
What else is buzzing?
On the international front? So there was a second attempt on the life of former President Donald Trump yesterday in Florida, where Trump and another individual who's an ally of his, they were doing some rounds of golfing, and lo and behold, someone was tucked away in the bushes somewhere between the 15th and 17th holes on the golf course, and the Secret Service agents were able to, you know, see from a distance away the barrel of a rifle sticking out of the bushes, and so they engaged with the person who was there to take an attempt on the life of the former president. This is interesting. This is the second time within a few months that an attempt would have been made to assassinate the former president. In the first instance, the individual who had fired upon the former president, hitting him in the ear of his ear, that person was taken down, right, by Secret Service when they responded to an active shooter situation. In this case, while shots were fired, the individual, Mr. Routh, who owns a construction company out in Hawaii, he fled the scene and was detained sometime later, right? And so they are working diligently to try to figure out what the plot involved and how this all came to be. But I think beyond that, as I was mentioning earlier, it's a second foiled attempt on the life of this individual who, for all intents and purposes, is very, very controversial in American politics and international politics
as well. When I saw the news, I said again, and you know, just like the first time, there are always these other conspiracies surrounding this type of ordeal. But I will say that from just that overview, from just looking at the media, seeing what is being hearing what is being discussed around this kind of issue, because he's a controversial figure, and because of the way that he governed for his 4 years as president, and the fear of what may take place if he is to be president again. I guess in for all intents and purposes, resulting in these attempts to assassinate him. Right? I'm happy that he was not shot this time around, and he was safe, and that the Secret Service were able to apprehend the suspect. But Isani, what is happening here? What is happening here in U.S. government, in U.S. politics that is creating this type of ordeal? What is happening in the United States right now that is allowing for this particular situations to keep happening? This is for the first time in history.
It's only one individual we're talking about.
I know. This is for the first time in history that he's been attempted to be assassinated twice. That is more than any other president.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm saying it only involves one individual.
Yes.
If you look at the political race as it is leading up to the November elections, no one has made an attempt on the life of the vice president who's running for the president of the U.S. Well, obviously she too has Secret Service detail, but they don't find Kamala Harris to be perhaps this sort of divisive figure that someone would say, you know what, I'll risk my life to take out that person.
Yeah.
Whereas in the case of Donald Trump, you know, perhaps he's seen as this kind of a polemic figure where someone would say, you know what, I don't agree with his political ideologies and how he goes about, you know, as a politician, so I will make an attempt, you know, on his life, even if it costs mine in the first instance.
I was thinking about this in the retrospect of the way that Joe Biden had to step down and give up his campaign so that Kamala can rise to the ranks. Well, Kamala was elected to rise to the ranks. What if this, and this is just me, this is a question that I'm having because I could not gather my thoughts about this. Some people are saying, oh, he's the one doing it, but my opinion on this particular situation is perhaps this is an attempt to oust him out of his seat, perhaps bring somebody else to the table. Because his government is not going to do that.
Well, I mean, if it's an attempt, and this is just, this is really theoretical.
This is just me from, no, this is just me having a theory.
If that were the case, perhaps it would be way too late in the race, so to speak, to even consider this kind of a maneuver. But I don't know that anyone would conspire for there to be an attempt on their lives. That's just far-fetched, if you ask me. That's way out of the blue.
You think so? There's
I don't know that. I don't know that. Again, it's a matter of opinion. I don't know that anyone would sit there and plot out this elaborate scheme for someone to fire at them. I don't know. But
I don't know. That's just when I was hearing all the buzz about this, so many people have their own opinions. My opinion was just on this particular nuance of, hey, perhaps they're trying to take, like, say, give up your seat, make somebody else run. And even so, we haven't seen this level of assassination attempts since JFK. You know, we have.
Well, there was an attempt on former President Ronald Reagan.
Yes, you're right. Thank you so much. You're right, and it's one of those situations, Isani, where they seem to be, well, I'm not sure about this particular assassin, but in the previous attempt where it was a supporter of him and his party that attempted this particular assassination. I know we have yet to find out more about Ryan Routh, but I'm looking at this as it's not the entire international community watching and saying, hey, what are we supposed to do if something were to happen to him? How is that going to affect the presidential elections, given that it's almost in November? Yeah,
you're perhaps about a month and a half or just about 2 months away from the elections. And that's the reason why I was saying to you, I don't believe that at this point in time, anyone can really back out, because if it were to play out in that manner, then whoever would succeed that particular candidate would have perhaps the shortest campaign ever.
A month,
and I don't see that happening, but, you know.
Well, like I said, what were to happen if, you know, he was hurt? What would happen if he was injured badly to a point where he's not able to actually run? There would have to be some level of repercussions, and I'm sure the United States government has a backup plan.
Well, that again, this is all theoretical.
Speculation. Yes, you know. I'm just because it's so outrageous to me that this is something that has happened within the span of what, 3-4 months,
perhaps.
Right? That there's 2 attempts on the life of a former president.
Yeah.
That has not happened in my lifetime.
Yeah,
You
I don't,
know.
well, neither am I.
So it's something that I guess we're going to continue to look at, but that is something that's buzzing, and I'm sure we're going to get a statement from the Republican Party and Donald Trump at some point this week. But that does it for our What's Buzzing segment this morning, and it is Monday, Sani. So of course, what we do here every Monday is we bring you the eye on the news.
All right, so we go from one political scenario
To another.
to another.
bringing it home,
Yes.
if you will.
And so we've been, well, for the past several Mondays,
Yes.
the focus on our eye on the news has been the United Democratic Party and everything that continues to play out with this
Indeed.
organization, right? And so it sort of culminated on Friday with the sitting of the House of Representatives at its new location at the George Price Center for Peace and Development. And so 1 week ago today, I was here having this discussion in anticipation of what would have taken place on Friday.
Yeah.
And so Friday came and went, and we can't say that it was without incident. Clearly, there were certain requests that were made by the leader of the opposition
Prior to the
House meeting
Yeah.
on Friday. This one particular request where he was asking the Speaker of the House of Representatives to have the 2 seats vacated, and she said, no, that's, unconstitutional. She doesn't have the power to do that if these 2 individuals, Patrick Farber and Tracy Panton, are duly elected officials. You can't simply remove someone. And I think my first question regarding that particular scenario is, how well advised is the leader of the opposition? Where does he seek his counsel from in terms of being able to make these sort of outlandish, ridiculous requests, right? I mean, you're a first timer in the House, right? You may not necessarily know the standing orders and everything that governs, the House. So I'm thinking that you would perhaps want to seek the counsel of someone who has been there, who is versed in, parliamentary life in a manner of speaking. Enough that that person would tell you, hey, look at this piece of law or the standing orders that says you cannot do certain things, and acquaint yourself with it if you're going to make a request or you're going to move a motion or what have you.
But it seems like in this particular case, especially with the United Alliance, it's like uncharted territory. You know, it's one of the first times we've had this type of scenario within a political party. So what would be the way forward if I am in disagreement, if I have consecutively resigned these persons, but they have constructively resigned these persons from the party, but they themselves are saying, well, I haven't resigned. This is uncharted territory, I think, for this particular party and for the other party as well. So how do you even begin to move this notion forward? They're talking about them saying, well, I am doing this in behalf of what is in my constitution. I, as the party leader, can constructively resign somebody because that is my power within the constitution. The other 2 are saying, as a part of the constitution, I have not resigned. So how do you move within these uncharted waters?
So it's an internal issue to begin with.
Yes.
Right? One that the United Democratic Party is going through. Now, if I'm following what you're saying, it then carries over into the House of Representatives.
Yes.
But as I've also mentioned, the rules are essentially clear in terms of what the Speaker can and cannot do based on that initial request.
Yeah.
And so when she responded and said, no, that is not possible, I can't honor that request, the next move was, okay, let's rearrange the seating structure, the order of how we will sit as an opposition in the House. And so they bumped up Sister B's chair as sort of a barrier, a division between Patrick Farber and Tracy Panton from the leader of the opposition, the deputy leader, and of course Denise Barrow, Sister B. Right? So the way how this looks is as if though these two are ostracized.
Kind of like an outsider.
Yeah,
group.
they're in Siberia.
Which I guess that was the point
right?
that he wanted, yes, to make.
But here's the thing. When Patrick Faber stood up and spoke on adjournment,
yes,
essentially he stood his ground, right? During this House meeting, when it came to acknowledging the bilateral relations between Belize and Taiwan, and the fact that Patrick Faber and Tracy Panton supported government's position that they're acknowledging the relationship between these two countries, the leader of the opposition refused to get up and speak or support that particular motion. And so I found it interesting when the Prime Minister stood up and essentially castigated him for that, right?
Go ahead.
And what is equally interesting, amid this entire scenario and the manner in which it is playing out, the PM also stood and said, hey, bro, you got to get your act together, because at the end of the day, while we have a supermajority on our end as the government, we still do need an opposition. You're appointed as His Majesty's loyal opposition. And you need to be there in that capacity. So the infighting won't necessarily strengthen the position that you would take.
You know, I was watching the House meeting, and I rewatched it again earlier for a refresher, and because we were all focused on the back and forth and you know, the memes and the fighting and so forth within the opposition party, I essentially almost forgot that there were members of the embassy of the Republic of China to Taiwan seated within the House.
Yes, the ambassador was present for that acknowledgement, bilateral relations.
And it seemed, in my point of view, that we are already airing what essentially is our opposition's dirty laundry all over the media. They're airing out, right? All over. I would have hoped that there would have been a little bit of, I guess, diplomacy and respect to our, our friends in Taiwan while they were seated right there in the House.
Well, the thing is, the leader of the opposition is reserved to his own perspective, his views on the bilateral relations between both countries. He made certain allegations that I won't repeat. I don't have parliamentary immunity, so I won't repeat any of that. But that is his position, right? But as I've said, the other two parliamentarians on the opposition side supported, because they understand that Belize and Taiwan have shared or continue to share a relationship that has strengthened, Belize as a Central American,
developing nation,
as a Caribbean country, in much the same way we support Taiwan and its dispute, if I may, with mainland China, right? And so that's where we've formed this sort of bond.
And 35 years is a long time. Belize is 43 years old. That's almost as long as we have had our independence. They have supported us and our sovereignty, and us supporting them and their sovereignty, which is why I said what I said. But in all fairness, I was also immediately surprised when the Honorable Patrick Faber got up and said, on behalf of the opposition, he's hoping that he speaks on behalf of all of them, which reiterates that they have not ousted themselves from being part of the United Democratic Party. They are very much UDP.
Well, which leads us to this other part of the conversation, right? So the Alliance for Democracy is organizing a unity convention for October 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And so a flyer, there we go, has essentially been sent out by this particular group, notwithstanding the fact that they have been constructively resigned from the party that they belong to, notwithstanding the fact that they don't have what is called locus standi. In other words, they don't have an audience or they don't have a right to appear or speak on behalf of the party.
Yes.
Right? So that's what the locus standi stands for, or that's its broad definition. So not having that means you cannot act or you can't speak on behalf of the party.
Yeah.
And so that this flyer prompted a response from the chairman of the UDP, where he's essentially calling this whole thing a fraud. You can't speak on behalf of the United Democratic Party if we have essentially, excommunicated you. You've been let go. You're no longer a part of who we are as an organization. So this will be interesting to see how this all plays out, right? There's a call for other members of the UDP to join the alliance in its organization of this special convention. And on the other half, they're saying, look, the executive of the UDP proper, we're saying we don't even recognize you guys as part of us. Yeah. So to proceed to have this, you don't have our support. You're not endorsed by the UDP to proceed with this kind of an event.
And remember, Isani, I feel like not too long ago we were having this exact conversation as to what would happen if we are having now these conventions for standard bearers within the United Democratic Party. How would they be elected and who would endorse?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing it play out. I am very curious to see if any supporters that are standard bearers right now that hold their position would actually come out to support these three UDP representatives. I can't say that they are not, because just like the Speaker of the House, I don't have that power. The people elected them. But I am wondering what would be the legitimacy if they actually hold this convention, if they do get persons to come and support.
Well, that's what the chairman is putting forward, right? It can't be legally recognized, considering the fact that the UDP's constitution is plain and clear in its language insofar as how you go about doing certain things. And if you're going contrary to that, they're saying, look, there is no possible way that that's legally recognized as a move that would be, of some kind of substance.
Yeah. In
terms of the direction of the party or what have you.
So in my perspective now, if this is to occur, Isani, and they do get persons to come out and so on, I really am wondering what would happen next. And I know we keep saying, oh, well, it's not legal and so forth, but they're still going about doing this. So for persons that are supporters of them, and they do have their supporters that will come out, how would the government of Belize look at that? What would happen if elections do come next year? Who would be the standard bearers representing? Are we going to have what the leader of the opposition and the chairman say these are our standard bearers, while we have these three representatives saying no, these are our standard bearers? What are we supposed to do? Because you're wasting people's time at this point if you're going to hold a legitimate convention.
It has to be, okay, it has to be recognized by the central executive and the other bodies within the UDP.
Yes.
That's first and foremost. So if it is not recognized by any of the bodies within the UDP, then it's not deemed legitimate. I think it's as simple and straightforward as that. So it doesn't matter how many people attend the Unity Convention or what have you. If the echelons of the party does not recognize it, then it is not necessarily legitimate.
So okay, I hear you and I completely understand, and yes, it is straightforward. But you are confusing your your supporters. You
Yeah.
are. You're holding this convention where one person is saying, yes, this is the right way to go, and your leader and the chairman are saying, no, this is not the right way to go. So you are confusing your supporters.
Yeah. But again, we'll see how this all plays out. We'll certainly dig deeper in respect of the response of the chairman to the flyer that has been put out.
Yeah.
This certainly will be in the news for the next few days. I'm
It
certain
will
of
be.
that,
It will
right?
be.
But that does it for this morning's Eye on the News.
Moving on with our show for this morning. It is Monday and we have to bring you a little bit of motivation with our eye opener taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. No such thing as a right or wrong response to any given situation, as we all come to it with our own experience. Our view of the universe is largely determined by our experiences. It is when we are caught off guard by spontaneity of existence that we are most likely to respond authentically. Events that arouse strong emotions in us are surprising in nature, can be disquieting. For it is often in the aftermath that we discover how profoundly our histories have shaped us. When our reactions differ from our peers, it can be upsetting because they force us to confront the uniqueness of our lives. When this happens, we may feel driven to dismiss our feelings as irrational or incorrect. But reactions themselves are neither right nor wrong. The forces that sculpted our development are not the same forces that shape the development of our relatives, friends, colleagues, or neighbors. There is no reason to believe that one person's reaction to a particular event is somehow more valid than another's. How we respond to the constant changes taking place in the world around us is a product of our history, a testament to our individuality, and a part of the healing process that allows us to address our past in a context we can grasp in the present. Life's pivotal events can provide you with a way to define yourself as a unique and matchless being, but you must put aside the judgments that might otherwise prevent you from gaining insight into your distinct way of interpreting the world. Try to recognize your feelings without categorizing or evaluating them. When you feel unsure of the legitimacy of your reactions, remember that cultural, sociological, spiritual, and familial differences can cause two people to interpret a single event in widely dissimilar ways. Examining your response can show you that your emotional complexity is something to be valued because it has made you who you are today.
An interesting eye-opener.
I feel like, for me, this is what it says, that sometimes when you are facing a situation where it's probably puts you in shock or surprise or feelings of anger and sadness, your immediate response might seem, from the outsider's perspective, irrational or even sometimes unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I am a drama queen in my own right. I am going to be dramatic for 10 minutes and then evaluate my emotions. That's how I respond to certain situations. And so I kind of feel related to this eye opener, because most of the times the way people react emotionally to a particular situation, people might not like it, or people will say you're being dramatic for no reason. But I am someone that is an avid expresser of my emotions. I wear my heart on my sleeve, quote unquote, as if you will, or my facial expressions give me away. So I can't hide it, even if I don't say anything or respond in a particular way. Somewhere my body will react, somewhere my face will react, and I have learned to take that with a grain of salt and just be able to express myself and be confident in it.
Nice.
Well, wherever you are today, I hope that this eye-opener has allowed you to share and express your feelings and emotions in a healthy manner, but it's okay also to be expressive with your emotions in however way you feel. moving on into our show lineup for this morning, we do have our weather from the folks at the National Meteorological Service of Belize.
Good morning. A relatively moist easterly airflow prevails. The 24-hour forecast. Skies will be sunny with cloudy spells today and then cloudy at times tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be isolated, except for the chance of a few more developing along the coast this morning and then inland this afternoon and over the south tonight. High temperatures for today will reach around 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 95 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 82 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 84 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 75 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 5 to 15 knots, and sea conditions will be slight. High tides occur at 8:17 this morning and then at 9:08 tonight. Low tides at 3:13 this evening and then at 2:53 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 5:05 this evening and set at 5:06 tomorrow morning, and then sunset is at 5:53 this evening and sunrise at 5:41 tomorrow morning. The extended forecast. Skies will be cloudy at times. Showers and thunderstorms will be generally isolated on Tuesday, and then activity will increase and spread to most places on Tuesday night. And now for the tropical weather outlook. At 3 a.m., Tropical Depression Gordon was located near latitude 19.2 north and longitude 47.5 west, or about 1,020 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands, with maximum sustained winds of 30 miles per hour and moving to the west at 8 miles per hour. Then at 6 a.m., potential tropical cyclone 8 was located near latitude 32.7 north and longitude 78.2 west, or about 85 miles south of Cape Fear, North Carolina. Maximum sustained winds were near 50 miles per hour, and the system was moving northwest at 3 miles per hour. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
All right, moving into our show lineup for this morning. In our first conversation, we're going to be joined by the new Executive Director of BELTRAIDE, Mr. Ishmael Quiras, who's going to be in studio with us to give us an introduction of Entrecon and much more.
So yes, our second conversation is about BELTRAIDE's upcoming Entrecon as well.
Yes, and in our third conversation, it's all about discussing International Youth Day under the theme From Clicks to Progress, Youth Digital Pathways for Sustainable Development. Actually, no, I apologize, that was a mix-up. In our third conversation, it is going to be all about mixed martial arts in Belize. We're going to be having youth world champions in to talk to us about the martial arts in Belize. But before we take that in and all that and much more, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, it's all about BELTRAIDE's Entrecon and much more. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
My name is Lincoln Fowers and I work at UMAL. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money and gas price, because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Hey Jay, ready for the first day on the job?
Man, I can't wait to get paid.
I remember when I first started making money, I loved to spend, not a thought about priorities.
Life was good, huh?
Boy, life got tough. Bills started to pile up and I didn't have money for the more important things.
So what did you do?
Jay, everything changed when I started to budget.
Budget? Can you tell me what is budgeting?
Alright, well you see,
a budget is a plan on how to spend your money. Budgeting helps you prioritize your spending and plan for the future. To create a budget, tally up your salary and any other funds coming in. Next, list your expenses. This includes rent, utilities, groceries. Be sure to include savings, no matter how big or small. Now, deduct expenses and savings from your income. What's the balance? Are there areas where you can cut back? Review your budget regularly and adjust as needed.
Oh, now I see the importance of budgeting. I need to make a plan before I start spending.
good move Jay. This is how you position yourself for financial security now and in the future.
Take control of your financial future. Start budgeting today. A message from the Central Bank of Belize. Visit us at www.centralbank.org.bz.
And welcome back. Our first conversation this morning, as we mentioned prior to our initial commercial break, is a conversation with the incoming Executive Director of BELTRAIDE. We have with us in studio this morning, Ishmael Kiros.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's great to be here.
And congratulations.
Congratulations on your new post.
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's begin by talking. You've cut your teeth essentially in terms of working with the private sector and the business community in this country. And you've transitioned from that particular desk to the lead at BELTRAIDE. Let's talk about your work experience in terms of your previous post and how this all plays into what you see for BELTRAIDE.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Isani. Thank you, April. So I've spent the past 7 years in the Office of the Prime Minister as the Director of Public-Private Dialogue.
Yeah.
And it was a role that I tremendously enjoyed, you know, especially driving policy reform and change, as well as, you know, being an innovation champion. It was all about public service delivery improvement to benefit the private sector. And in a sense, my career path has been about private sector development. Starting with BELTRAIDE 20 years ago, and we can get to that a bit later on. But yes, I think all of that has, you know, really given me a skill set and a network to really, you know, propel the work at hand now at BELTRAIDE. You know, with a view to really, you know, having private sector development take off. You know,
It seems like a full circle moment for you, where you started off at BELTRAIDE 20 years ago, as you've mentioned, albeit in a totally different capacity, I would presume.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Now you're coming back as the executive director. What perhaps have you observed to be certain changes or differences from then till now?
I think what we have now as a country with regard to investment attraction and investment promotion is clarity in terms of the type of investment that we want to entertain and to promote. And not only investment but exports, because the trade aspect is equally important. And I think what we have now is the policies, the strategies to really equip us with a focus that's needed. And so at this point in time, the government is heavily focused on the green, blue, and orange economies, which really encompasses all of what we do as a country, but it really helps to fine-tune and channel our energies. And so I think that's one of the biggest tools that we have now. I think we're a lot more sophisticated in terms of the products that MSMEs and entrepreneurs are producing and what Belize is producing. And so those are some of the great things to highlight. And so it becomes easy at BELTRAIDE when you're trying to promote investment and exports and MSME growth and the orange economy growth, for example, because of what is on offer now. So there's been a tremendous amount of development, a lot more interest. Belize is much more known in the world. And really we're a pioneer and a beacon on the global landscape when it comes to, for example, the blue economy.
Yeah.
Your predecessor was big on the idea of strengthening the orange economy. And I see that BELTRAIDE has sort of rallied around that particular cause, if I may. Where do you see yourself in terms of carrying this torch forward for persons who are invested in the orange economy?
Absolutely, and for the benefit of the people listening and watching, the orange economy encompasses the creative and cultural industries. If anyone knows me, they will know that I'm a tremendous champion of the arts and culture. And so I certainly plan to, rally behind and, attract attention towards this sector that is so worthy of support. It's going to be a matter of bridging perspectives. It's often pointed out that artists aren't business people, right? And there's a truth to that. And so whatever we can do to support their exposure, their development along the lines of knowing how to, manage their craft, their passion as a business, with respect to the craft itself, that's what we plan to do. We're really ensuring that there's the support, there's access to finance, there's the training that's there. And in terms of, how we plan to go about that, it's through the partnerships that we have and the new partnerships that we can forge, the partnerships that we can strengthen. Because I think that we can do a lot, but we have to pool resources.
I wanted to take it a step back and talk about how the private sector has actually employed Belizeans. A majority of Belizeans are employed by the government, as you know, but now that we've had this tremendous amount of growth within the private sector, how are Belizeans gauging towards that?
So, great question, and it's a timely question because we have historically low unemployment rates at this point in time. And that's a testament to the health of the economy and specifically the participation of the private sector in the economy. Government cannot do it alone. And private sector, plays a tremendous role. And so whatever the government can do to have in place policies that support, in a proactive and constructive way, private sector development is critical. And so we've seen the growth and the rise of various industries. And of course, we have our traditional industries in terms of tourism, which has rebounded, and it has exceeded, pre-pandemic levels. And of course, the agribusiness and the light manufacturing sectors. We have a service sector. And of course, what we have now, the hot topic is the global digital services sector, or the BPO sector, which employs upwards of 15,000 young Belizeans right across this country, increasingly in rural areas or even in work from home arrangements. And so it's a great opportunity, and it's a prime example of how the private sector is really stepping up, and investors are stepping up and stepping into Belize, to invest and create jobs, and ensure that middle class of Belizeans who is a professional worker or a young student coming out of college, is able to have a job that earns a meaningful wage.
Yeah. And I know that, of course, BELTRAIDE is very famous for their relationship with building MSMEs and small businesses and so forth, coming from most of these rural areas and communities. In terms of strengthening the development within the orange economy, how is BELTRAIDE assisting these MSMEs that might not necessarily have the resources to get online and apply for some of the programs that BELTRAIDE has available?
So BELTRAIDE is here. We can be accessed through our websites or through our office numbers. We have 2 locations in Belize City. That's the BTEC at the IT Vet campus or the Small Business Development Center. Our headquarters is in Belmopan. We have a web presence, a social media presence. Reach out to us. There's a tremendous amount of resources in terms of knowledge, training opportunities that is available, largely free or subsidized, and so that speaks to the resource constraints aspect. But we also partner with different, especially international financial institutions and international organizations like the Caribbean Development Fund, who has recently funded Belize, the BEEP, right? The Belize Enterprise Empowerment, project. And that's another example of how putting MSMEs in contact with grant resources, is important and is possible. And then you couple it with the capacity building side, because you have to come with a plan, you have to come with a concept, and you have to come with an indication of your commitment to executing what it is that you say that you're going to do to expand your business. So those are some examples of how we're really connecting, and through other partnerships like our Digital Connect centers, especially in rural areas, it's really putting power in the hands of those entrepreneurs and micro businesses who might not necessarily have the connectivity, the know-how, or the internet to actually participate.
I gather that you've been well received in terms of your transition from one desk to another, but you've essentially had to hit the ground running as well, because when we think BELTRAIDE, we think of all of these activities that are held based on a yearly schedule, so to speak, right? We don't want to get much into talking about Entrecon. We have an entire segment for that. But in terms of you coming on board, it's right ahead of this particular major event being held by BELTRAIDE. What has that been like for you to come in and know that there is a schedule of events that you must now preside over?
Well, I've also come in at the tail end of the National MSME Roadshow, which is another, initiative that I had been involved in within my previous capacity as public-private dialogue, and so it's been seamless, because I've just carried over, perhaps traveling in a different van, out to these destinations. But that has been a tremendous help. I think familiarity with the stakeholders, with many of the businesses, with the organizations has been good and needed to kind of like maintain that momentum, and as a matter of fact, accelerate. And that's the plan. The plan is to really elevate the quality of service that BELTRAIDE provides, and to move a lot faster. Yes, we have a packed calendar. It never ends. It never ends, and that's great. I'm the kind of person who I need a variety of things to keep me going.
What new things can we expect from you as Executive Director of BELTRAIDE? Do you have any ideas?
Yes, so I think, I know actually that we already have a very strong team at BELTRAIDE, but the plan is to add to that team in terms of getting a really robust, set of professionals, who have a passion for private sector development, small business development, and of course equipping them with the tools that they need, the tools and training and really to get the creative, process going with thinking differently. There's, unlimited things that we can do. And so we're certainly going to be looking for international good practice in terms of investment promotion, export attraction, MSME development, and industry-specific training. But we are charting our own course as a nation. And the idea is really to put a Belizean twist on the best of what is available for us in terms of, this opportunity. And so what I envision is a robust team that is moving at, a very fast pace and that is delivering, and that we're also delivering hope.
Wonderful. Ishmael Quiros, Executive Director of BELTRAIDE, newly appointed. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, it's all about martial arts in Belize. You don't want to go away. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you so much. Good job.
Yeah,
Quick.
thank you. Excellent. Very good.
Thanks, my brother.
Yeah, we'll take a
picture.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected. Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Wake up! Wake up! Now which cheese you think you may eat all the while? Gallo cheese with the blue rooster on the label is the traditional and the real deal. The original Dutch, redback or hard cheese in a Belize. Be aware! Check your label and make sure it is in English and for the Belize market. Gallo cheese with the blue rooster. The real deal. Santiago Castillo Limited, supporting and building our Belizean community for 95 years and counting.
Gallo Edam Dutch cheese, aged and tropicalized, the best formula for the Belize market, exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Joining us for our second conversation, we have here father-daughter duo in mixed martial arts, and we're talking all things martial arts in Belize. Joining us on set, we have Alexia Smith. Good morning. She is the ADCC Youth World Champion. And next to her is her father, Aaron Smith, and he is the grappling coach at the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
So I just want to start off by talking about the sport itself, and then we can get into the different levels of championships. So let's start with you, Mr. Smith.
Yes,
and let's talk about mixed martial arts in Belize, and how long have you been coaching Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I've been coaching for a few years now, to learn, to teach, and I've been training about 12 years, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you see this particular sport progressing in Belize since you started?
Oh, it's going super fast, super fast. Yesterday we did a little seminar and we had about 50 people or so showing up. So,
what is it about this sport that people gravitate towards it?
I think it's just human nature to want to grapple, to roughhouse. You see kids from little kids, you're roughhousing, and then now it's in the place whereby you could roughhouse and you're not getting kicked, you're not getting punched, and if they're submitting you, you could just tap and they release you. And so you keep going back for more, and it's very addictive.
It is addictive. Well, from what I see, I like watching it.
My question for you is, what brought you to the sport in the first place?
So I used to play football. You grew up in Belize, everybody played football. Playing until I was 30 years old. I went to a gym. I was going to get into CrossFit. I see a blue room, and they were doing jiu-jitsu. I went in there, you start wrestling, and I was like, oh, this is for me. So I even stopped playing football.
Oh, wow. So you committed full-time
Yes.
to jiu-jitsu. And I think for Belize, we kind of have like an avid boxing kind of community. We really appreciate the boxing sport. How does the rules differ in terms of that sport and jiu-jitsu?
So in boxing, if you spar hard every day, you keep getting hit in the head and stuff like this. Jiu-jitsu is different. You're not getting hit in the head. It's just grappling. So you could go hard every day, and you're good. So.
I see you brought your daughter,
Yes.
Alexia, who is a world champion in. Let's talk about your journey as an athlete in mixed martial arts, Alexia.
Well, I started when I was around 7 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm going to be 14 next month.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
My dad introduced me to it. I used to do dance and stuff like that. But then he was like, did you want to try out the jiu-jitsu? And I was like, yeah. So then I tried it and I really fell in love with the sport.
What made you fall in love with this sport?
It's just like the people around, new people we meet. I get to travel. I get to help kids. The opportunity that I'm getting right now to show kids and help them, and help grow the sport here in Belize.
It's not your first time here with us
No.
at Open Your Eyes. I think I may have interviewed you once or twice before. What has it been like in terms of your journey through this particular sport and being able to perhaps develop as now a young lady?
It feels good. It's different because I've seen that through time, everything has grown, different stuff. The first time, I think I only had a little bit of medals. This time I have the actual ADCC youth belt, and I've been training really hard for this one.
Let's talk about your championship.
It was an invitational only, and it was the first youth kids. So I did a couple tournaments to win these ones to get invited to this one. But a lot of kids, they traveled and did 12 tournaments just to get invited. But I only had to do 5, and I think it was because of my performance, and they saw that I did really good, so they just invited.
Where was it?
It was in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena.
Okay. And you were the only Belizean?
Yeah, I was the only one representing Belize, and I won this belt.
Yes, let's see your belt. Congratulations. It is very heavy.
Yeah.
Wow. How many other youths were competing?
I think it was over 100.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
but that's a little bit for a tournament.
But you're the champion.
Yeah.
And now you have the belt.
Yep.
So what do you say to kids that are trying to figure out what they're trying to do in life, and why should they pick jiu-jitsu?
I think you should pick jiu-jitsu because it really shows. It's not just about the grappling. It's about showing how to be disciplined, finding new people, and it's once you see you can work hard, you can get anything you want. You just have to work hard for it. And see, I train every day from 6 in the morning to like 10 or to like 6 in the night, and it really paid off.
Wow.
I noticed that whenever you visit Belize, there's also like an itinerary of events that you do to engage with kids and other persons who would be interested in this kind of sports. What's next in terms of your stay here this time?
Well, we're doing a couple free seminars. We just did one in San Ignacio yesterday. We're going to do other ones in San Pedro and Orange Walk.
Okay.
So yesterday we did like a free seminar for the kids. They came, we cleaned up the river a little bit. I showed techniques, and then we passed out food and like drinks after they worked hard for it.
What type of techniques and martial arts do you have to have any kind of skills and so forth when you attend these seminars, or can you come on like a newbie completely?
You can come like a newbie. I'll still teach you guys, and like it'll still be fun for them.
And you only teach young kids? What about adults?
We teach adults. He's mostly the adult teacher. I teach mostly the kids.
Let's talk about this duo that you all have going for you. You've been training your daughter since she was little and so on. How has her progress in jiu-jitsu inspired you as a coach?
I'm seeing the opportunity doors that it's opening for her. Also, I'm seeing other kids, especially, and I'm just using as an example, kids from Brazil and the favelas. I could relate that to Belize a lot. And a lot of these kids are getting visas to go over to the States. So that's my goal. I want to somehow figure out how we could start getting kids, hold a tournament here, get at least 4 or 5 every year and take them so that way they can start opening their eyes, come back down and share. So that's my goal.
What I want to get at is the father-daughter bond that this sport has actually brought you guys closer together. Talk to us about
Oh,
that.
yes. This is, this is my little, Belize, I think you're 2'5".
Yeah.
When she was little, now I could actually train with her. I mean, I just got to be mindful using my body weight, but she's she's really skillful. Like, it's crazy how good she is. Like, I'm pretty sure if she was my size,
She would take you.
yes,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. And also, too, she's been wrestling in the States, too, and it's going very good for her. She's getting scholarships, she's doing all this stuff. So our next goal is to bring wrestling to Belize, because again, also about the opportunities for the kids.
Yeah.
Over there, for college, especially for the females, colleges in the States are looking for wrestlers. It's the fastest growing sport right now in high school and college. So again, if and also it empowers you. She wrestled with Lee and they're like, oh, I beat up. And when she touched them or grabbed them, it's over. So
she looks so tiny.
Yes, that's and that's what I'm telling her. So it's like a perfect time, especially to empower women, empower female. Yeah. And it's a female that's doing all this. And again, it's of the world. It's not no neighborhood or nothing. People coming from Brazil, Spain, and everything, and Belize, when we bring one home from Belize, so very
I think
proud.
the last time we had jiu-jitsu here, what came from a particular dojo right here in Belize. So we can tell that it is a sport that is growing very fast. So how do we get other Belizeans to compete?
I guess right here, it's just maybe, for me, I think that if I would say the sports, government, some part of sports could get involved and start making this more, I think it would be better, because the more tournaments you hold, the better the kids are going to get. The better, and again, it's not about the prize, but the more the prize look better, and they're actually investing into the athletes. I think that's what's going to bring the athletes out.
We were talking a lot about sparring and so forth, but I know like in mixed martial arts, it brings different levels of disciplinary skills. Let's talk about what this sport has taught you in your personal development.
Well, it's taught me how to like you're saying, discipline. I have to wake up at like 5 in the morning just to go train for like 4 to 5 hours a day, plus wrestling. It's taught me how to eat. Taught me how to eat healthy, because for tournaments I have to feel good to fight. Because if I'm eating a bunch of chips the week before, I'm gonna feel like all sick. Yeah. So it's taught me that, and it's taught me like how to appreciate what the opportunities I have. Because my dad from Belize, he didn't really have as much opportunities, but he's given me one from a young age to do like what I love to do, instead of having me just do like work and other stuff like that.
How do you balance education with your pursuit of mixed martial arts?
I do homeschool. So homeschooling is like I have like the whole day just to do it. I have like a virtual teacher. They send me videos and like workbooks. I just have to do it, and by the end of the week just send it in. So I can usually do my homework in the night and then train in the morning, or vice versa, homework in the morning, train in the night.
And like I said, I keep wondering how you're able to inspire young girls and young athletes to pursue jiu-jitsu, because it's not a sport that most girls would want to get into. I mean, I know you had the influence of your dad, but for young girls, what would it teach you to be in jiu-jitsu, apart from the motivation and the discipline?
Well, it's also very good self-defense. I feel girls, they need to learn more self-defense, because like if anything happens, don't know like what to do from those positions. I also think it's good for like just to keep you busy sometimes too.
Agreed. Stay out of trouble in that way. But the different tournaments that you have competed in and so on, what has been the way that I'm not really sure how these things are prized or gauged or anything like that, but how do you gauge martial arts? How do you gauge jiu-jitsu? What does it take to win a competition?
Just hard work and just believing in yourself. Yeah.
She is a good communications officer as well here, because you're just being able to tackle all of these questions like this. But I know it's very admirable for someone your age. Let's talk about the different seminars that you were having here in Belize. Where can people sign up, and how can they be a part of them?
Well, it's free, so I guess you can just like, I'll let you know. I have all my stories, like the locations and what days. You can just show up and just start learning jiu-jitsu from me.
What's your social media handles?
It's Alexa the Belizean Lioness.
Alexa the Belizean. Who come up with that name? And is that your stage name?
Yeah.
Awesome. I really appreciate. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about your family dynamic, because you have a little brother as well, right? What's it like growing up around the house? Is it something that he wants to emulate to one day become an MMA fighter as well?
Well, he started doing jiu-jitsu, but he really likes soccer right now. So he's trying to do soccer. But he still trains with me in the garage sometimes. We just do like fun little rolls here and there. And I train with him soccer so he can practice like his dribbling and all like the soccer drills he does.
And what's it like for you, Dad?
Well, the fights are, I could record and I could be entertained, because it's all techniques, and you know, look like two people just the wrestle, but it's techniques that's going into these fights. So I'm like, all right, I'm enjoying it. Just respect the top. That's it.
So what is your hope when it comes to this particular sport in Belize and for other youths to take hold of it?
My whatever I'm looking for is to hopefully open a performance institute that provide wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and even football, but just the base, start getting people ready. And also, right here I have Proven Ground Jiu-Jitsu. It's going to be a non-profit stuff, so I'm just trying to start helping every kid that wants to be helped. So it's up to them if they want to come in, but again, I'm going to try to offer it to everybody, and also too, for like I mentioned, the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, to start getting them abroad, even if it's Mexico, Guatemala, and then from there the States or wherever we can go. So,
where in Belize are you originally from, and how important is it for you as a Belizean to give back to that community?
So I was born in Doublehead Cabbage, and from there moved to Orange Walk. Then I went to the States in '96. First time I got a chance to come back. You know, excited to come back home, but when I was looking around, all the kids were just standing around. There was nothing, no outlet, no. So I decided, well, all right. I was like, the following year I'm going to come back and offer jiu-jitsu. So I start putting it out there, and we had 100 kids in the Orange Walk People Stadium.
We were just showing on screen a bright side that you did with our colleague Sabrina Daly when you were. Well, how old were you in that video there?
That was like 3 years, so I was probably like 11.
You're probably like 11, and I'm seeing you showcase some of the techniques using your dad as a as a model there. Let's talk about this type of teaching, because it seems that you're very good at coaching as well. How do you coach persons your age?
Well, I can like relate, kind of, like, if you get what I mean. It's like, I'm just trying to help and like trying to teach. Honestly, I can teach anyone. I just need them like to listen to me, like, because I've done, I think like last year there was a seminar. I was trying to teach the adults and they seemed like they didn't really want to listen to me because I was younger. So I do feel it's easier to teach little kids because they'll listen because I'm older. But when it comes to like adults, I feel like it's better he teaches them.
When it comes to the feedback that you get from young persons that you're coaching, what do they think about the sport?
It's all different. Some people really love it. Some people just don't like the whole touch,
Grappling.
like, yeah, the whole like being able to like to touch people and like stuff like that. But the feedback is good. I think a lot of people like the way I teach because I'm nice. I teach them my techniques that I do that helps me win in the tournaments and stuff.
You've been doing this for almost 7 years now. What are your future goals in the sport and outside of the sport?
Well, for wrestling, I hope to do the Olympics in the next 4 years because I'll be 18. Hopefully win it for Belize, represent Belize. I also have a baking business, so I hope to open a bakery, but like on the side with a gym, so it'd be a bakery and a gym.
How that work? You're gonna go to the gym and then you're going to give me cookies afterwards?
Protein cookies.
Okay, see, now that makes more sense. So it's going to be a healthy bakery.
Yeah, it's gonna be a healthy bakery. But I also have another bakery with like treats, like sweet ones.
This is not balancing for me here, Alexa.
Let's go back to your ambition to represent Belize at the Olympics in this particular discipline. Have you begun wrapping your mind around what your preparations would be like? You have 4 years until the next Olympics. You're going to be perhaps 18, as you've mentioned. But that's a journey in and of itself, right?
Yeah. The preparation's gonna be hard, but hopefully worth it because I really do want to win. I'd probably be doing a bunch of training camps, training with my dad in the garage, still training in the morning. But I will be going to high school, so I'll see how that, because like I'll be going to real school. So I'll see how I'm gonna balance all that training with high school. But I have a really good coach. He's like the best coach ever. He helps me. We always do privates, and he really like inspires me to like keep on wrestling.
I'm hoping that you come back and give us an interview for that life balance because that's going to be a new change for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any other ambitions in your academic studies? Do you like any other subject apart from sports and baking?
I'm not that big in school. I prefer the baking and like the whole MMA sport.
Okay. But for kids that want to pursue sports scholarships, there is a balance of academia that they have to do, right?
In the States right now, for her, she's there's many kids like her size, age, that's professional.
Yeah.
So again, it's the schooling, it's more to, and again, I'm not saying school is not good, but for her, she already, like, we're choosing a path, and we're also, you know, with school, with this nonprofit stuff, eventually she'll be able to take care of herself, baking and stuff. Because not every time you have to go down education.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, we need diversity. So in Belize we do need that. So again, if she could open schools whereby kids are coming in, she could make her living from that and helping the kids. So
it's sort of like an alternative to the actual education.
Yes, sir.
And that's amazing to already have that at such a young age, so that's commendable. I want to see some of these medals because you said you had to win some of these tournaments in order to qualify, you said. So can you explain some of these medals?
This one was actually the first, like it was an open, so like anyone could sign up. But this was the first kids ADCC, because ADCC is normally for like the adults. It's like the Olympics for jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So this was the first kids one. And then I had...
That one was held in Vegas, though. Let them know where it was.
This one was in Vegas, so it's kind of decorated like the casino. I like the way they like actually decorate their medals.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then this one?
This one, I went to Mexico to compete. I had 2 fights.
Okay.
This one was So they gave me a belt and a medal.
Oh, so it's for the same Youth Worlds.
Yeah.
And then these two. Oh, these are so pretty.
Yeah. This one was in Orange County. And this one was in Long Beach.
Okay. And what are the areas that you compete in? Is it like for a particular age range?
Like a category.
Yes.
Category.
Yes. The way they do it is age and weight, and for belt color too, because there's different belts. There's like white, gray, yellow. So this all was in the 13-14 division, under 100 pounds.
Wow. And what belt are you?
I'm an orange belt.
Awesome. This is such an amazing success story, and for your dad as well. I'm sure you are very proud.
Super proud. Super proud.
Very, very proud.
How do you, as a parent, so you've invested quite a lot of time helping Alexa from her end.
Yes, sir.
How do you plan to assist your son in his own pursuits as well?
Oh, well, I play ball from Libya until 30, so I have a lot of knowledge in that too. So again, this is my job. My job is to better them, invest in them. That way, when I do let them out to the world, they're ready. They can take care of themselves, and that's my goal. That's that's my role as a father. So. And
how does your wife, as the head of how does she factor into all of it?
She's their biggest fan. She's the one that's like, let's go, let's go. We're doing this for our kids. We're gonna let them be something to, for other people to aspire to.
Yeah.
So.
I am in complete and total awe of you as being 14 and having such a wonderful progress in this sport under your belt. Congratulations to your championship. Can you one more time just give the viewers your social media handle so they can know where to find the seminars?
It's Alexa the Belizean Lioness.
And that's Instagram and Facebook, or just Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook.
Wonderful. Any final words to our viewers this morning before we wrap up the show?
Try out Jiu-Jitsu. It's really fun, and it's going to show you many things.
Okay, I want you to hold up the belt. Sorry. Let me just hold it up to the camera all the way up so that people can see. You are our Mixed Martial Arts Youth World Champion for 2024. Congratulations to you, and thank you so much for dropping by this morning. Our wonderful father and daughter duo, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're switching gears to Entrecon through BELTRAIDE. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
With the steady increase in prices, it's hard to hold on to your hard-earned cash. Well, here at Benny's, prices are steadily falling, making it easier to stretch your dollars. Prices are slashed on roofing, plywood, nails, rebar, paints, lumber, and other products for your construction needs. And with fantastic discounts going on right now, get store-wide deals on select products from now through September 30th. Visit a Benny's store near you today, where the prices just keep on falling. Benny's, quality and savings.
My name is Leomar Langsert, and I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
We all know about the phasing out of single-use plastics and the enactment of pollution from the plastics regulations. One of the key components in this regulation states that for an item to be considered biodegradable, it must consist of more than 50% of bio-based content. Here, you will find out how the Department of the Environment determines what items meet the criteria and what equipment is being used to guide that process.
Since 2019, the Department of the Environment has been working with CFAS in doing microplastics. Through this project, CFAS has donated 2 microscope Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy equipment to strengthen capacities on monitoring and enforcement to reduce marine litter and plastic pollution. The FTIR can be used to identify unknown materials. The Department of the Environment will use the equipment to determine the composition of single-use plastics and biodegradable products to enforce the environmental protection, pollution from plastics regulations.
While we have a long way to go with the implementation of the pollution from plastics regulation, having this equipment is one step closer. For more information on what's being done about biodegradables and ways you can help, visit our website at www.doe.gov.bz.
Isani Cayetano, Marion Alley, Paul Lopez, Brittany Gordon. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we are joined by our friends over at BELTRAIDE for our third conversation. We're talking all things Entrecon, and joining us in studio we have Miss Monique Usher, and she is the manager of the SBDC, which is at BELTRAIDE, which is the Small Business Development Center. Good morning, Monique.
Good morning.
And next to her we have Miss Dr. Adrienne Coleman, and she is the lead digital learning and development specialist, and she has her own business. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ladies. Good morning.
All right, so let's start first with Entrecon and its progress throughout the year. So I know we have a big presentation this particular year, but let's talk about Entrecon, what it means, why is it important for Belizeans?
Excellent. Let's start off with unpacking Entrecon. It's the National Entrepreneurship Convention, but we dubbed it Entrecon, so persons can easily remember the event. This is the 7th year that we're hosting Entrecon. We started off with very humble beginnings at our BTEC office on Freetown Road.
Yeah.
And so, over the years, we have scaled up the event. It's an event that truly speaks to the entrepreneurial ecosystem that we have. It's planned in line with the evolving business climate. And so this year, we're looking at powering small businesses with big data and artificial intelligence. So that's the theme for this year's Entrecon. In 2022, we hosted the 6th Entrecon, and it was under the theme of disruptive MSMEs, right? So we're looking at scaling up. It forms part of our National Entrepreneurship Month, which is a very festive time for us at BELTRAIDE and in terms of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, because we do have partners that host events in line with Global Entrepreneurship Week. But for us at BELTRAIDE, we felt fit to host an entire month that looks at entrepreneurship. So this year, we're pretty excited to host the event. We're scaling up a bit from previous years. So on the 29th of November, we have the convention, Entrecon, and so we have international speakers, local speakers. Today we have with us Ms. Dr. Adrienne Coleman, who was a participant at 2022 Entrecon. And this year, we've invited her to be one of our panelists at the event. So for us at BELTRAIDE, we look at integrating the ecosystem, having key actors, being the business support community, looking at the different ministries, looking at academia, entrepreneurs, having them convene and be able to network in this space, learn, connect, and create meaningful engagement.
So, artificial intelligence has been quite the wave recently. Adriani, talk to us as to how you see this being incorporated in businesses in Belize.
Okay, thank you for having me. Yes, the artificial intelligence is definitely going to have, it's already impacting businesses worldwide. If you are using technology in any kind of way, AI will be integrated in there. And it is very relevant for businesses to learn the AI that goes along with what they're doing, their services and their products, because it's more efficient in some ways. It makes your work easier, and it saves you time. And we all know in business, time is money, right? So that is very, very important. So learning the AI for your business is definitely the way to go to make your business succeed. And people who are coming up, aspiring entrepreneurs or the young people, they are learning the AI. So they will be competitive in the market. So to be relevant, you have to learn the technology. There's just no way around it.
And how is BELTRAIDE incorporating all of this new technology, innovative ideas and concepts into Entrecon?
Excellent question. I want to make mention of the National Entrepreneurship Roadshow. And a part of that roadshow, one of the training that's most sought out by our MSMEs is digital marketing. In our digital marketing training, we do share concepts and provide them tools, such as AI tools that they can integrate in their business. So we saw this fit to look at innovation and to look at some low-hanging fruits. We're talking about the basic use of ChatGPT, Gemini, just a few AIs to make mention of. There's Canva, the design tool that a lot of small businesses are using for their marketing campaigns and et cetera, right? So we're looking at a team that speaks to not only advancement in terms of where we're at as a country, but integration that an MSME can utilize. So we're looking at introducing them to the concept of artificial intelligence, and not look at artificial intelligence as something that's going to disrupt their business negatively, but how do you incorporate it in your enterprise?
I always find it, well, I am one of those people that is afraid of the AI. But I find that a lot of persons are not necessarily that tech savvy to even understand something as intelligent as an AI. So how do we even cover basics?
Okay, well, BELTRAIDE definitely, they offer a course for MSMEs, and in my business I do that as well. I train. I'm in the education sector, so my business name is Digital Learning and Pedagogical Solutions. And I do train businesses and schools in the use of the AI. And really, I think we need to see the AI as a tool that you can use. It can be adapted for you, and that is why it's so great, because it's not like one software program that everybody uses and it has all the same tools. Some of that is true for the AI, but then you can also modify it to fit your needs, and that is what is great about it. And also, because of OpenAI, you can build the AI to suit your needs. Unlike other software programs that have come out, well, the AI isn't a software, so to speak, but if we're just talking in regular terms, that's how we can think about it, that it's a software that I can modify to use to my advantage to get information. I wouldn't need a person necessarily to do that work anymore. I can automate it now using the AI, and that will save time and money.
What led you to marry your interest of technology with education?
Well, I was a teacher. I was always a digital teacher. I always incorporated technology in the education space. And then I studied developing digital competence, and then I did AI in EdTech. And so it was easy for me to transition both. Also the age, right? I don't want to say too much, but I'm a millennial, and so I grew up with technology. So it was not, I did not feel so intimidated by incorporating it. And of course, I see that it helps me to save time as well, you know. And who doesn't want their weekends and in the evenings? You know, we have a lot already going on.
So as we have been talking about fitting this particular topic into Entrecon, what else can we expect?
Entrecon is an event that we consider a huge entrepreneurship convention. It's something that, you know, our MSMEs look forward to. It is BELTRAIDE's signature event, so all hands are on deck with planning for Entrecon. You have the convention, so at the convention you have speakers that share specific, you know, topics that fit in line with the theme of the event. There's networking opportunities. I know at the last Entrecon, at the end, we had a orange mixer, business mixer. And at that mixer, you know, Adrani said, you know, this is my first experience at Entrecon. It's something that's amazing. I made, you know, X number of connections, leads in terms of developing business support to some other entrepreneurs there that she connected with. So we see it as an opportunity to connect with persons that are entrepreneurs, to connect with, you know, business support organization to develop your business. We're looking at having Entrecon be very interactive this year. I know this morning our executive director was on and he was speaking about the orange economy. We're also looking at providing a space for persons that are operating with that within that economy to showcase their products and services. On the 30th of November, we're looking at hosting the first Blaze Entrepreneurship Awards and Gala, so it's something that's exciting. We're looking at celebrating entrepreneurship in country. There are some amazing categories of awards. So we're looking at the Great Blue Entrepreneur of the Year, Sustainable Entrepreneur of the Year, Creative Entrepreneur, Youth Entrepreneur, Female Entrepreneur, and Disruptor of the Year award. So this is something that's very exciting for us. It also allows us to launch the 8th edition of the Invest Belize magazine. And it's under the theme of Unleashing Belize's Potential, Igniting Innovation and Growth. And I also want to make mention that for the gala, we're looking at having a silent action to support the Lupus Association of Belize.
Nice.
Can I just say something? When I went to Entrecon the first time, it was amazing for me to see all the entrepreneurs who are in the space. And also I learned a lot that year about that year they had looked at the blockchain. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, what? We're bringing cryptocurrency to Belize? What is going on here? So it piqued my interest. And then I learned a lot about the blockchain, and I also learned that we have the blockchain here in Belize already. In the agriculture sector, I didn't even know that the blockchain could be applied to the agriculture sector, so I learned a lot.
For folks at home that are watching, what is the blockchain?
The blockchain, wow. If I had to explain it simply.
Yes, please.
It is a process used for quality purposes, to see the quality of your product. So from beginning to end, it's documented. But it's not documented by one person. It is documented by all the persons involved. So you put your data, I put my data, but when we put our data, we cannot just go back and change it. So it has to go through certain steps in order to make its way into the data format. So you have to have a lot of good quality, because when you put it there, to change it, you have to go through another process.
So you have to be correct and precise.
Right, you have to be correct and precise. So that I didn't even know that until I went to Entrecon. And then of course I looked forward to the networking afterwards. That was great, you know, so it was a great learning experience, and so I encourage everyone to come out.
How important is the ability for any business owner, small, medium, otherwise, to be able to utilize this space for networking?
That's an excellent question. As I shared earlier, we do have different actors that are a
Yeah.
part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So it
Mhm.
provides you an opportunity to perhaps, bump shoulders with April that you may have wanted to connect with for quite some time. Maybe you saw her online, her business thriving, and you needed mentorship, So we do see instances where Entrecon does provide an organic opportunity to network and connect with actors that perhaps you may have wanted to relay with. So it does provide that opportunity. You also have the opportunity to become a client of BELTRAIDE, and if you're a client of BELTRAIDE, you look at accessing additional resources, whether it's training, if you're looking at business advisor services, if you're looking at creating linkages. So for example, for us at SPDC BELTRAIDE, what we look at doing is connecting our MSMEs. So if there's an MSME that's interested in learning about artificial intelligence, we look at connecting them with someone that's operating within that space. Adrani has, been a client and also served in the capacity of a consultant to BELTRAIDE when we were looking at developing our e-learning platform. So again, we always think about, how do we create opportunities amongst, the persons that are in direct contact with BELTRAIDE.
And I do like that about the BELTRAIDE events, because they are so willing to network you with the right people. If I go up to anyone working at BELTRAIDE, I can say, I really, really want to meet so-and-so, and they will make it happen, or they might call you out of the blue and say, oh, we know someone who needs this. Can you provide the service? And they link you up. So it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs of all sizes to go.
And how do we apply to go to Entrecon, or how do we nominate somebody to be a part of the Blazer?
Excellent. So we do have our social media handles that have information on Entrecon. If you visit the BELTRAIDE website, there's also a link there that's prominently displayed that shows that you can easily click and register for the event. I also want to make mention that Entrecon, we do have an early bird special, so it's at $50 right now. Come the 31st of October, it's at $60 to attend Entrecon. We have a package deal, so if you're interested in participating in Entrecon and the gala, you can get it at $150 to attend both events. And it's going to a worthy cause. The networking opportunity that's there is very encouraging. It's something that we encourage our MSMEs. Don't look at the price tag, look at the benefits to come from participating in such an event.
Right.
So visit us on our social media page or website, and you can also call our office lines. Someone will gladly assist you, walk you through the process for registration, and provide you additional support prior to the event. We do have a networking activity at the end of day one, which is Entrecon. And so we want persons to register early so we can make the right connections there. And, whatever your interest is, if your interest is in marketing, we start looking at, okay, how do we engage Adrani in the marketing space? Who are the experts that we can, have form a part of that networking opportunity?
Where will Entrecon be held this year?
This year, it's going to be at the Civic Center. Last year, we held it there. We had the Entrecon, we had the Business Mixer, we had an expo. So we're pretty excited to have the event hosted there. We're going to have the convention the 29th, and then on the 30th, we're having the Entrepreneurship Gala, which is a good way to end off National Entrepreneurship Month.
And can we nominate persons for the Blaze Awards?
Yes, you can nominate persons for the Blaze Award. Again, we encourage you to visit our website. You can nominate someone that you know, maybe a friend that's operating within the space. Or even if you're confident enough and you say, well, you know what, I have what it takes to be the winner of this specific award, you can nominate yourself.
My final question for you is, how has Entrecon grown over the years in terms of bringing on board more participants?
Yes, so when we started off, we were at the BTech office on IT Vet Compound. I think at that point in time, we hosted probably 70 participants, inclusive of speakers. It was a very small space. We were shoulder to shoulder. And over the years, we've had 300 plus persons and participants. This includes MSMEs, business support organization, academia, experts, So we've grown tremendously. This year, we're anticipating that, we grow even greater in terms of number of participation. And we're looking forward to having, any MSMEs out there that's listening, perhaps have had a keen interest in working with BELTRAIDE. This is a perfect opportunity for you to do just that prior to Entrecon and, experience what it's like to have business support to allow your business to grow and thrive.
I know we have Dr. Adriani here as part of one of your success stories when it comes to Entrecon, but what has been the reviews from other small business, mom and pop shops, MSMEs that have come to Entrecon?
Excellent. We've had an entrepreneur that had struggled with getting their finances in order. You know, record keeping is something that's very taxing for a lot of MSMEs, and oftentimes, you know, you wear so many hats. Yes. And so we've had instances where MSMEs have connected with someone at the event to provide a service for them. We've also had individuals that were able to connect with other businesses. So when we were at the BTEC office that year, we had 2 MSMEs that were producing jams and jellies, and one was doing pepper sauce. And, you know, that opportunity, at first, you know, we put them side and side together, and, you know, we learned that, you know, they decided to work together, so they ended up purchasing their packaging material and, you know, reduce the cost for them. So we do have success stories as such. We've had persons that attended Entrecon probably 5 years ago, just had the idea and needed that push, and that motivated them to get started.
I think the Entrecon too.
Yes, please.
The Entrecon also shows you as a small business what you can do. You know, it gives you ideas. And then, of course, we cannot underestimate the power of networking. You never know where it's going to lead you. And I think when you are a small business, you might be scared to take that step. Or you might say, oh, you know, it's a day off, and you do that math in your head. But then you do reap the rewards, especially with the networking. It can really take you very, very far. And I think MSMEs really should not underestimate that. And then being at this event at Entrecon, you will meet a lot of people who are in your space and maybe unlikely allies that you can network with, and the opportunities can grow from there.
How do you feel about your partnership with BELTRAIDE? You've been a client, you've been a consultant, now you're a presenter. How do you feel about the work that you've been able to do so closely with them?
Well, they have been very, very supportive from the very beginning, and I've learned so much from BELTRAIDE in terms of, oh my gosh, in terms of everything. They model what they want from you, and then of course they do the networking with you, for you, and then being invited to events like this really makes you see what you are capable of. And so I think it has been very beneficial, you know, to be part of BELTRAIDE's MSMEs. So I would encourage everyone to come and look at what they have. They definitely assist you. I mean, just the training itself, that's very valuable. Where else would you get training like that and for free? And even if you pay, it's still worth it. It's still worth it.
Do you have a particular cup that you're looking for, a size cup for this year's Entrecon? How many persons are
We're
you
anticipating 350. We can facilitate more, but again, you know, we're encouraging persons sign up, get the interest out there, allow us time to connect with you and to make the necessary arrangements to host you, because this is a high-end event. It's our signature event. We want to be able to provide, you know, quality speakers, the entire experience of Entrecon, whether you're attending the convention solely or you're attending the convention and the gala. We want you to enjoy your time.
And both events will be at the same place?
Yes, both events at the Civic Center.
What time was the convention and what time is the gala?
The Entrepreneurship Convention is from 9 to 4. The gala is from 6 to 10.
The next day?
The next day, yes. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And as
Don't show up 6 a.m.
Well, you know. And as we wrap up our segment this morning, just one more time for our viewers, where can they sign up? How can they sign up and be a part of both events?
We're encouraging persons to visit our BELTRAIDE Facebook page or website. Give us a call at the office. And, you know, we can assist you with the registration process.
Okay. Wonderful. Monique, Dr. Adriani, thank you so much for joining us. The Belize Entrecon and Belize Awards is going to be this November 29th and 30th. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful event. If you're an MSME or a small business, join, apply, go to BELTRAIDE's Facebook page to see how you can get more information. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take our final break and we'll be back straight to wrap things up. Don't go away.
what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
My name is Nayeli Yakab. I'm the coordinator of the Benke House of Culture niche. Before the Belize Bank online service, I had to travel to San Ignacio because we don't have a branch, a Belize Bank branch in our community. Now with the service, I can conduct my transactions at the office, at the comfort of my home, just anywhere in the world. It has made my life much easier. I would recommend the Belize Bank digital services to everyone and anyone. It gives you back your time. It's highly reliable. It's available 24/7, and it just makes your life easier.
MacNav Visual Strategies, where creativity meets business. Step inside our world of innovative visual solutions. From captivating graphic design to expansive wide format productions, our services are tailored to bring your vision to life. Experience the impact of our high-quality signage and billboards, embroidery, promotional items, and professional paper printing, all designed to elevate your brand's presence. Every project reflects our commitment to creativity, quality, and client satisfaction. At MacNav Visual Strategies, we transform ideas into visual realities. Get in touch today.
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez, Brittany Gordon. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Back to Open Your Eyes. We want to say a big thank you to all of our guests for tuning in this morning, for coming in this morning. Big thank you to our friends over at BELTRAIDE. We had an interesting conversation with Executive Director Ishmael Quiros, and of course the folks from the Entrecon. They were here talking to us about Entrecon and the Belize Awards. We also want to say a big thank you to the Smith family that came in to talk about their martial arts awards and how they perceive martial arts to grow in Belize. But of course, we also want to say thank you to our viewers, because without you, this would not be possible. It is September 16th. We want you, it is your birthday today. We want to say a happy birthday to you from all of us here at Open Your Eyes and Channel 5. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, drop us a line right here at oie@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every day at Open Your Eyes BZ, and you can check out our highlights on Instagram at oie_Belize. And of course, do us the favor and join us again tomorrow morning when you open your eyes.
To start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by Smart, bringing people together. And the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.